Hey guys, today I'm going to do a video about a warning that's been going around in circles here in the Philippines. I've seen it online a few times. A couple people have sent it to me. I'm actually going to read it today. I'll see if I can put it in the description, if it'll allow it to fit in there, because it's quite big. But I'm going to read it today, and I'm going to talk about this afterwards because it's getting quite interesting here, because things are getting a little hairy in the Philippines and throughout the world. I mean, a lot of us can put on our blinders and say, hey, it'll never happen, it'll never happen. And it may never happen, but I think with China acting out the other day and encircling Taiwan in a practice thing that they were doing, and I guess the U.S. didn't know too much about it until it was already almost over. So that's kind of scary in itself, because it shows that they could actually do this, and it means that we have to be more on alert. And with our current president almost immobile, the other day he was in France and he was at the D-Day ceremony, and he had to be walked out because he wasn't feeling good. He was weak. He was actually going to sit down where there was no chair, which was quite interesting. And his wife had to whisper to him, there's no chair, don't sit down, stand up. And then she took him out of there. And it was kind of an embarrassment, actually, the fact that his wife doesn't say, hey, maybe it's time we replace him for the rest of his term. And I'm not trying to, usually I don't talk politics here, but in this one here, it's inevitable that I'm going to talk a little bit of politics. And I usually don't. This here guy is talking somewhat about world politics, and we usually don't talk this stuff on my channel, and this time here I'm going to talk about it. So just, warning, if you get triggered by me reading this, then maybe you ought to shut it off now, okay? Because I don't want to see the triggers and the people triggered in my comment section, okay? So this is something, like I said, it could happen, might not happen. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying, it's not. I'm just the person reading this here, okay? And then I'm gonna do a few comments on this. War warning to U.S. expats in Taiwan and Philippines. Duration June 5th, 2024 to November 5th, 2024. This shared assessment is based on historical precedents, recent events, and 40 plus years of service in the U.S. military, Department of Defense, and Air Force Institute for National Security Studies. Based upon this assessment, I recommend that the expats make plans during the warning stated, prepared in the event that, number one, air and maritime transportation is suddenly stopped. Number two, banks may be closed without notice to prevent a run on banks. Number three, it may be difficult to obtain cash even if you can electronically transfer funds from foreign banks to Philippine banks. And I agree with that. If something does happen, that may happen. It's hard enough to get money sometimes around here on payday. Okay, let's see. It says Philippine banks may not be open. ATM machines may not work. I recommend holding large supply of cash in the event of any conflict for your rent and food. Any Chinese blockade or invasion of Taiwan would be catastrophic, and any blockade of the Philippines would be equally disastrous. I do not think that this is my opinion. I do not think they will blockade the Philippines. I think it would just be Taiwan, but Taiwan might be in their eyes too. Philippines might be in their eyes also. It's hard to tell because of what the interactions that we're having here with them. Overall indicators are of increasing the probability for a pending global regional war. China and Russia seeing political instability and weakness in the United States for refusing to aid Ukraine for nearly half a year, causing great Ukrainian losses in the arrest, trial, and conviction of former American president and main opposition political candidate for president of the United States in 2024. Japan is undergoing its largest military buildup since World War II and reinforcing its southwest defenses in preparation for war. And I've heard about that also. The United States has actually given them permission to do that. President Putin announced to the world March 2024 that Russia is ready for nuclear war. He really thinks he can survive it. China has already taken actions to prepare their total population for war, including stocking of huge amounts of food, supplies, defense materials. China has the largest standing army in the world, and the Chinese Navy is larger than the U.S. Navy in the number of warships. U.S. ships have more naval missiles and weapons on board. However, that may or may not make a difference to Chinese plans. The Philippines is also increasing its military preparedness, purchasing additional weapon systems, building military alliances, and sharing military bases, it says, with the U.S. They're talking about, okay, all right, I thought I misread that. The Chinese military keeps pressing the Philippines, trying to start a conflict, but it says the Philippines also increasing its military preparedness, purchasing additional weapon systems, building military alliances, and sharing military bases with the U.S. Okay, I got it now. Russia, China, North Korea are conducting military exercises together in the region. NATO is dramatically increasing its military preparedness. Poland is undergoing its largest defense buildup since World War II and arming itself to the teeth. Other NATO and non-NATO nations are also increasing their militaries. NATO has performed its biggest coordinated mass parachute jump since World War II. This is to show NATO's flexibility to deploy large numbers of troops to NATO countries if attacked by Russia. The United States has large amount of military personnel and equipment along the borders of NATO countries and sending a huge amount of aid to Ukraine, which has been stopped for the past 6 months. And Ukraine, believe it or not, is taking heavy losses right now. It's been on, the government's telling us one story, and we're getting information from other people like that. It was a 21-year-old kid, I guess, that got in trouble for stating that there's huge casualties in Ukraine, and the United States is trying to make it look like Ukraine is winning when actually Russia is. So kind of interesting. Whether that's true or not, I'm just a messenger. Expats probably know that China has been pressing Taiwan hard, now under the new presidency of William Lee Chang-te, by performing a fully armed practice blockade of the entire island by Chinese air and naval forces. This happened the other day. It lasted about 3 days. An actual blockade would officially be an act of war as well as a crime against humanity. However, China has now demonstrated its feasibility, and the U.S. did not have time to stop it. In the Philippines, China seized the Philippine Thomas and Scarborough Shoals in 2012, despite the World International Court ruling in favor of the Philippines, which the Chinese ignored. Recently, Chinese ships have attacked and damaged Philippine ships and injured Coast Guard personnel. China is continually threatening the Philippines, claiming that the entire South China Sea is theirs, and they will take action against any ships, planes, or personnel in that region, which include additional Philippine islands. The Philippines has about 9 islands and reefs in the South China Sea, including the largest and most strategically important one, Thitu Reef, or island west of the Spratlys, also known as Pagasa, which is located 300 miles west of Palawan. This island is under threat as well as any other Philippine islands. Fishing boats and personnel on Philippine territory in the South China Sea. President Marcos stated he would not tolerate any further loss of land. Number 2, the Chinese defense minister stated China will not permit Taiwan to become an independent sovereign nation, which it already is. But however, the newly elected Taiwan president, William Lee Chang-te, stated that Taiwan was already a sovereign and independent nation. Chang-te then recently visited U.S. Speaker of the House of Representatives in California to make a point, and China is furious. Thus, China is making points to reclaim their long-lost province, which in reality Taiwan is not. During World War II, Taiwan was part of the Empire of Japan until claimed by the non-communist Chinese national government near the end of World War II. Kind of interesting. Number 3, according to China's Defense Minister Dong Zhong, anyone who backs the independence of Taiwan will face total destruction. The new Chinese defense minister says Taiwan separatists will be crushed to pieces, and also struck out at the Philippines at the International Forum in Singapore. We will not allow any country or any force to create conflict and chaos in our region, he added. China has been increasingly assertive in pressing its claim to virtually the entire South China Sea, a key global shipping route, which has led to a growing number of conflicts, which most notably with the Philippines, whose ships have been rammed by Chinese vessels and hit with water cannons. That happens quite often. I show that on my Facebook page. Often I post those. Dong insisted that China's strategic culture is anchored in universal love and non-aggression. Before continuing on again to threaten the Philippines, China considers Taiwan a breakaway province and has not ruled out using force to achieve reunification. China may use the growing wars in Ukraine and Middle East as cover to blockade and invade Taiwan before U.S. 2024 election in fear that President Trump will be back in power after November election. It was President Trump's departure after the 2020 elections that motivated Russia to invade Ukraine in order to reestablish the new great Soviet empire. The Russian administration was fearful of Trump due to the unpredictability. And that is sometimes a good thing, to have an unpredictable president, because that's, if a president's predictable, then you already know what he's going to do. Trump would not throw his cards down on the table and show anybody. That was one good thing about Trump. And I'm not pro-Trump or anti-Trump. Unpredictability and not signaling his intentions, a move that avoided war. The current administration announcing its actions can lead to war. You see what I'm saying? And that's true. You never put your cards on the table. If China plans to take action against Taiwan and the Philippines, it would be to their advantage to do so prior to the U.S. 2024 election, while the U.S. is still in political turmoil and involved with a war in Ukraine and the Middle East. This is only a warning of a possible pending conflict, not a guarantee, he says. It is a matter of probabilities and historical precedents. I'm not taking the gamble, but preparing and stockpiling cash. This guy's name, he puts it on here. He's a doctor. He lives in Cebu. It says J. Avery. And a lot of people are reading this, and they're taking heed to this. I myself, I'm not sure. I think he's right that it would happen during that time period. If it was going to happen, it would happen before the elections, because right now we're in a bad spot. Our president is just dysfunctional. I don't even think he could make a decision right now. And I'm being honest with you. I'm not saying that because I dislike the guy or I like the guy. I'm saying it because I'm being honest. You can watch him on all kinds of bloopers and stuff like that on stage, falling, farting. They say that he even crapped his pants and stuff like that. And he's not looking good, and I know I'll get a lot of people say, well, I'm unsubscribing, Steve. I'm like, I'm just stating the facts. I'm a moderate. I'm a moderate. I like things on both sides. There's things I like on both sides. I do register as a Republican. I'll state that here. This is the first time I've talked about this on my channel, but I am a moderate. I don't vote for people because they're Republican or Democrat. I don't vote straight party all the time. There's very few times have I voted Democrat, but I don't like the Democratic platform at its right now. I know a lot of people get mad at me and say, well, Steve, you're a diehard Republican, you're a right-wing extremist and all this stuff, and I'm not. There's a lot of things that I agree with with Democrats, and there's a lot of things I agree with Republicans. Okay, and this will probably be, I don't talk much politics, and this will probably, I probably won't again unless I have to. This is just something that I want to read and give my comments and my thoughts on, and I thought it'd be interesting for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. You can leave your comments down below. Hopefully no hateful comments. Just write your comments on what you think. Do you think it's going to happen or not? I don't need the hate mail, you know. But if you guys, you know, got some thoughts on this, please leave it in the comments. Either way, you know, what do you think? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen? I kind of am on the fence about this one. I think they see weakness. I think they also know that we have a lot of people in the Philippines, but they got way more people around here than we do. Even if we put 100,000 troops in here, they have way more than that. You know, their ships are all around. They have more ships here than we do, obviously. We have more tech. Do I think that, you know, this could lead to a nuclear war? Possibly could, but I don't think anybody in today's world is that crazy that they would fire off a nuclear weapon. That's just me. I mean, because it just means your total demise. So that's my thoughts on that. I do think we could have a conventional war with conventional weapons, missiles, things like that. But nuclear war, no. Unless the war just dragged out too long and somebody needed to finish it. But then, like I said, it means total annihilation of both sides probably. And I'm not sure that would happen. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We got some more stuff coming up soon. And also, we got a dinner coming up at Texas Roadhouse on the 27th of June. June 27th, 2024. At Texas Roadhouse at the Evia Mall. EVIA, Evia Mall. They call it Evia Lifestyle Center, too. It's Las Piñas, Bacoor. It's also right near Alabang if you look it up. But it's at the Evia Mall, and it's at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon at Texas Roadhouse on the first floor of the mall. Okay, and we'd like you to join us. If you want to join us, if you feel like you want to hang out with a bunch of expats, come and join us. God bless, guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed today's show.